Oh, this is me. You'll probably see this a little after my last upload, but this is just me about 30 seconds in the future, pulling up a different article to reference, going on a reel to see everything that's going on, make sure I don't miss any updates if one comes through while I'm filming, and just getting ready to film this video that is talking about the NBA draft. This will come out a little bit after the draft because the draft is not something that can be changed. Trades, rumors can be, and I didn't want to upload two in one day, so I'm going to premiere this for later in this week. This is the day of the second round, so I'm not going to be talking about the second round. I'm actually probably just going to be mainly focused on the lottery and maybe talk about some picks that I liked outside the lottery. Um, but let's just dive right into this with Cooper Flag. Obviously, the Dallas Mavericks selected Cooper Flag #1 overall. This is a no-brainer. For anyone who received this pick, they were going to take Cooper Flag #1 overall. And obviously, I hated that they took Cooper Flag #1 overall, not because I think it was the wrong decision or a bad decision, because I just don't think they deserved the pick. Sorry, I almost sneezed there. But they had a less than 2% chance coming into the draft lottery a few weeks back to get that pick, and they obviously did end up grabbing it. And a lot of people made suspicion that the NBA is rigged after that because, like, how are you gonna trade Luka Doncic and tank and then get that Cooper Flag pick with a less than 1 in 50 of doing so? It just didn't seem realistic. And then they released a video of the ball drawing like 20 minutes after it happened in a dark, quiet room. Like it couldn't have been done in 5 minutes. Like they could have clearly been rigged. You could have filmed this 2 minutes ago and just posted it. Obviously, I'm gonna get this grade in A+. Cooper Flag was a skilled two-way player. He was a guaranteed #1 overall pick, no matter who had the pick. We all knew this was happening. I saw someone bet $14,000 and with 14 cents on this. That was, if you can't tell, obviously, that is one of the worst returns in sports betting history. It is, but at the same time, if you saw a free 14 cents, or I don't know if it was 14 cents or $14, but a lot of people were saying if you saw free money on the ground, you would pick it up too. And yeah, but with your wrist dropping your wallet that has $14,000 in it, you know what I'm saying? But we all knew that was going to happen. Congratulations to the Mavs for getting Cooper Flag. This is an A+, even though they don't deserve Cooper Flag. The second pick, Dylan Harper, drafted to the San Antonio Spurs, another team that has had insane draft luck. The Spurs were not projected to get picked this early. I'm not sure what their exact projection was. I know that they were not in the top 3, but they did get this pick. They have been insanely lucky getting. Obviously, I think they got Tim Duncan from the lottery. And that was like the frozen envelope or something. I think that was that. And then obviously they got Wemby a few years back. But again, I think that this is a good pick for the Spurs. So once again, this is another one that was very undoubted. This is another one that was not surprising at all. I know it's another guard, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, why didn't they draft Ace Bailey? Why didn't they draft PJ Edico? And why didn't they draft all these players?" And it's like it's not a pick like that. Like that's not a situation where you draft what fits your team. That's a situation where you take the player that is the best available. When there's a player like Dylan Harper on the board, you don't take what best fits your team. You take what's going to develop into a MVP caliber player in 5 years. Okay, I don't understand how people don't understand this. Uh, Philadelphia 76ers. Philadelphia 76ers took B.J. Edgecombe out of Baylor. This is where a lot of people said the draft is really going to start because a few weeks back, everyone thought the Sixers were taking Ace Bailey. I wanted the Sixers to take Ace Bailey. A lot of analysis said they were going to take Ace Bailey, but then Ace Bailey got agent. He said to his agent because he says, "Oh, I only focus on the basketball. My agent does all that stuff." Well, why are you letting your agent cancel workouts with teams like the Sixers? Why are you letting your agents cancel meetings with teams like the Sixers? I get it. You want to be a superstar on day one, but genuinely, that's not how it works. There's going to be a transition period. You're going to embarrass yourself in Utah on day one if they agree your list of demands. Start me on day one. Give me 30 minutes a game. Let me be the team's leading scorer. Like, it's ridiculous, these things that you're demanding as a rookie. So the Sixers did not go Ace Bailey, and they went the other route. A shooting guard, small forward out of Baylor, B.J. Edgecombe. He is a defensive style player that has been known to make wide open spot up threes. He is developing as a shooter. He is not really good in the contested area, but he can definitely hit a knockdown shot on the fast break when open. He can also dunk the ball very well. You've probably seen his highlight reels. If you're a Sixer fan, coming on your feed of all his dunks. I give this trade a B minus, or not trade, draft a B pick with B minus. I did not want BJ Edgecombe, even with the demands that Ace Bailey made. I still wanted him, or I wanted to trade the pick to the Brooklyn Nets in a deal that could involve Cam Johnson. I did not want to trade Paul George. I think trading Paul George to this low is stupid, because he is low right now. His value is low, and we got him for $50 million. Like, dumping his contract doesn't allow us to spend the money anyway, so I don't think we should have traded him. I think we could have got a trade for Cam Johnson. All in all, this isn't a terrible pick. The more I look at it, I know last night I was upset, but I give this a B minus. I think it could have been a lot better, but it's fine. All right, Charlotte Hornets, number 4, Kon Knueppel. I don't know if I said that right. I know they said it. The Flying Knueppel brothers, something like that. They were talking about on the stream a lot last night. He is a really good player. He is a play-now player. He has experience in the ACC with Cooper Flag. He was really good in the March Madness tournament, and he's getting God. I think he fits well with LaMelo Ball if he is healthy. This is a decent pick. I think that they reached for him. I think they could have traded back to 6 or 7 and still got the same player. I don't know if they thought the Utah Jazz were going to draft Kon. I understand that they might think that because Ace Bailey made the same demands to the Jazz as the Sixers, and Kon is the best forward other than Bailey in this draft, and both were looking at forwards. So I do agree that they could have done that, but I still think that they should have drafted, they could have traded back and maybe got him later or got Bailey later. You know, even if he didn't want to go to your team, I still think you're allowed to draft him. I could just trade, I keep saying trades. I just fill my podcast about all the trades. I give this draft pick a C plus. I don't think it was the best pick. I think they could trade back and got him, like I said. But if they thought it was necessary because the Jazz are right behind him and we're looking at forwards, then I understand that. And I think they got the best non-egotistical forward in the draft. So, C plus for you. Utah Jazz. Small forward, Ace Bailey, or like Aureus Ace Bailey, Rutgers. It's an A. He's a project player, but it's an A. I wish we drafted Ace Bailey. I wanted Ace Bailey. That is the player I wanted the Sixers to get no matter what, and we failed to do that. Ace Bailey is a very good player. He checks a lot of boxes. He's a top 3 prospect, a jumbo wing, very tall. He's a shot maker, and he can finish in the paint. He does sometimes have trouble finishing over larger players, like with better wingspans, but I still think he's an A. I don't think you can look at this draft pick any other way. If you do, you're crazy. I know you can say, oh, it's ego, but I still think it's an A pick. Number 6, Washington Wizards, guard/forward, Trey Johnson. Trey Johnson was a more physical forward who can also knock down a size-up shot. He is taller than your average guard, so he can play the guard position well, and he has really good defense on his card as well. He's a good player all around. I think that he probably could have went sooner in this draft. I think that the Wizards got lucky that he fell to 6. And that I'm surprised. I thought that the Ace Bailey would fall beyond him. I thought Trey Johnson would go to the Jazz. But I guess that the Jazz don't care about his demands. Makes sense. And the Washington Wizards, in my book, are going to get an A for this trade. Oh my God. Jeez, guys. I'm sorry for this pick. They're going to get an A. This is a really good pick for them. And I think that it could not have worked out better for either side because I think he's going to be a really good player on day 1. Number 7, Pelicans. Point guard, Jeremiah Fears from Oklahoma. I do not like this pick. Let me preface this. I do not like this pick. I think Jeremiah Fears is a good player. He's a little prospect-ish, like he's not like a guaranteed player, but you just traded C.J. McCollum for a young guard in Jordan Poole to play next to Zion, and now you're going to go draft Jeremiah Fears? I understand you need to start 2 guards, but I just don't think that this was a good move for them on this end. I think they could have done better at number 8 or number 7. I give this a C plus. Or no, I give this a C minus. I don't even think it's C plus good. I think it's closer to a D than a C. Alright, next, pick 8. This is a D in my book. Because I've never heard of this guy. and it was the Nets' first round pick. Point guard from BYU, Brigham Young University, Edgar Dimon. I think he's a good player. From what I've seen in the last day or two, but he's not good enough to be a top 10 draft pick. He's good. He should be drafted, maybe even in the lottery lower, but I just don't think he should have been top 10. And that's why I give this a D. He's a tall forward. He's not that athletic, and I just don't understand why they drafted him so early, especially with the prospect of 5 first round picks. Like, why don't you just trade 22 and 27 to get like pick 15 and draft him then? I feel like he would have fell that far. And anyways, this next pick I hated as well. Oh, if I didn't say give that I give that a D. Yeah. This next pick is an F. 9, Toronto Raptors, Colin Murray-Boyles. I think he's a great player, but I think they completely messed up on who they should have taken at this pick. I think that this pick was clear and obvious. It was laid out for you to take Milwaukee. He was the best player available. You need a center. You did not draft a center. Instead, you drafted Colin Murray-Boyles. He's 6'6", so that's good. He's a 7-foot wingspan, but he can't shoot. He cannot shoot the ball. He's getting comps to Scotty Barnes, but I feel like that's only because he got drafted to the Raptors, and why would you need 2 Scotty Barnes when Kaman Malawak is right there? I think he's a good player on the aspect. I think he deserves to go inside the top 10 of this draft. I think the Nets could have took him. It would be an A. But when you need a position so well and it falls to you with Kaman Malawak and you pass it, you're not getting a good grade. So I'll give him a C. I know I call it an F at first, but he's a good player. Okay. This next pick was the Phoenix Suns pick that they got from the Rockets in the Kevin Durant trade, and then they drafted Kaman Malawak. Obviously, the Phoenix Suns, who traded for Mark Williams in the same night, needed bigs. They need bigs, and they got 2 good bigs in one night. Malawak off the bench, Mark Williams the starter. I think this is great for them. I think it's a good fit when you need a big. He's 7'2" with a 7'6" wingspan. He can dunk the ball. He's a lob threat. He's amazing on defense. And he played really well with Flagg and Knuppel at Duke University last year. I give this trade up. Well, I guess it technically was a trade. You could probably make a compilation with how many times I've misspoken about that. But I'll give this pick an A. I don't think it's an A+, but I think it's certainly an A to get Kaman Malawak at 10. I just got a text that said, tanking your whole season to draft BJ Edgecombe is embarrassing. I agree. I think he's going to be a good player, but I wanted Ace Bailey. I wanted Aurorius Ace Bailey, and I don't care about his bad, negative agent. Sorry, I forgot what they were called. Fire him. Make him fire on day 1. I don't care. Get him out. I know you can't do that. But anyways, next pick was the Grizzlies. They got this pick in a trade with the Trailblazers, and they drafted Cedric Coward. Now, this is a funny pick because I'm pretty sure on the broadcast last night that the person announcing the pick, the lady, said Colin Coward, who, if you don't know, is a host on an ESPN talk show. I believe he's on like one of those shows that when you go to a restaurant and they have like the ESPN and they're all like, and there's like the things on the side that are segments. He's like one of those people. He does that. And she said he got drafted into the NBA, which is funny. So I'm pretty sure Cedric, not Colin, I almost did it too because I was talking about Colin Coward. Cedric Coward started in Division III basketball and worked his way up all the way to the point where he was heading to Duke University next season until he decided to declare for the draft. And he's a good defender along Jalen Wells, who is an amazing defender, Jalen Wells is. And he can even evolve into more, I think. I think that they'll be able to rely on Cedric for a few years. He's 23, so he's a little bit older. I give this trade a B-. You would think after 10 straight times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I would say I give this pick. But no, why would I say that? I'm going to get it wrong every time. I give this pick a B-. He's a great player, but I don't know much about him because, once again, he played mostly at a Division III level and was only going to a big school before learning he could be in the lottery. Pick 12, Noah Asenge, France, Chicago Bulls. So this is more of a prospect player. He has a lower floor than a lot of players, but he also has a really high ceiling more than a lot of players. He is one of the younger players in this NBA class. He played pro in Germany before the draft, and he just needs to. I feel like he could develop into more than what he is. I understand why the Chicago Bulls took this. I don't know much about his player. I know he's not great right now, but he's already played professional basketball, and he played in France a little bit as well. I feel like he can fix up his defense a little bit from what I've heard, and he needs to be able to find ways to get to the free throw line. Is what CBS Sports is telling me about him right now. I did a little research on these guys as well. I think he's a decent player. Um, so what I'd give him a B+ for this. I did a thing on Real Sports where you fill it out. I took him to go 11 or 20, and then he went 12. I thought it'd go a little later than that. So I still think it's a good pick. I think they got the right guy. 13. If I can, yeah, Derek Queen, New Orleans Pelicans. This was a great pick. I thought that they were going to draft him when they had the pick 7. When they drafted Jeremiah Fears. I think that the pick of Derek Queen, I think he was the second best center in the draft. I think he could have went ahead of Malawak, but I do think that he is not as good as Malawak. I think he should have been a top 10 pick. I thought they were going to draft him earlier in the draft, and then they just traded back up and drafted him at 13. So clearly they knew something. It was smart. He's really good defensively. He was in the Crab 5. No, Crab 5. But the only concern about him is he going to fit in a team that already has Zion Williamson? And my easy answer, yeah. Zion Williamson hasn't played a game in 2 years. I like that there's this thing that's called the Zion Williamson propaganda cycle, and here's how it works. All off-season hits, videos posted on a House of Highlights, Bleacher Report, ESPN, all these things, and it's like, look how strong Zion got in the offseason. Regular season hits. Zion plays like MVP candidate or All-Star candidate for 2 weeks. Okay? Then, midway through the season, Zion gets 2-week injury. They say he'll be out for 2 weeks. Then, doctors examine him again. Oh, he's out for a month. Then, season ends. Then, oh, Zion's healthy again. Oh, Zion's playing like an all-star. Oh, he's hurt, but it's just a week. Oh, he's out for the next season. And this happens every time. So I think that the Pelicans did a great thing by drafting a reliable big in Derek Queen. I'll give him this trade an A. I mean, you think I'm doing it on purpose. I'm gonna get this last one right. This is the last pick I'm going over. The last lottery pick. The Spurs via the Hawks. Carter Bryant, Arizona. I really like this pick. I think Carter Bryant is a good player. He only averaged 6.5 points last year, but he shot 46% on catch and shoot threes. He's a high level athlete. He's 6'7", and he could even play. He is a player that could play any position on D. He can knock down a 3 and guard any position on D. I think that's exactly what they need right now because they already have Wemby. They already have a bunch of guards, Castle, Harper. I think they needed to fill it out more defensively, and they did. I would grade this pick. I would grade this pick because it's a pick. They picked him. They didn't trade for him. They did, but they picked him at this point in time. A minus. It's a good pick. I think they might have reached for him a little bit, but I think they filled out and they did the exact thing I think they should have after taking the best available in the last pick and draft what you need. They knew that they would get a good forward in this draft class at 14, and that's why they didn't take one at 2. They have a great team. Fox. Let's see what their starting lineup would be. I think it would be Fox, Castle, maybe Harrison Barnes, Carter Bryant, and Wemby. That's an amazing pick. Oh, I said Fox Castle. You could also do Fox Harper, I suppose, but Castle and Fox are already established, so I don't know how they'll do that. Anyways, sorry for messing up so much in this video. You're probably going to be seeing this in 2 to 3 days from 6/26/25, and hopefully you have a good rest of your day. This is longer than my last one, and at the end of the last one I said, sorry this took so long, but I guess we're going over 14 things and not like 5. But anyways, thank you for watching and goodbye.